Okay, hello and welcome back, Squirrel Nation. Today's video is just kind of bookkeeping. It's not going to be any gameplay. It's just going to be me talking to you as Alex, not as Chaos Squirrel, just the guy that I am. So today's video, moving forward, I want to talk about my content schedule. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm going to post AOV video, or I'm going to post auto chest and like other game videos. Friday, Saturday, I'm going to stream, and that content will be the tournaments probably that I'm playing in or whatever game people want to see me play, most likely auto chest. And then Sunday are going to be videos like this where I'm just going to kind of do some bookkeeping, talk about what's happened in my week just on a personal level. So that is my plan moving forward, and we'll see how that goes. I might change it, but I think that is what I'm going to do. And as far as the subject of this video, I'm just going to talk kind of about my life and where it's led me and yeah, where I find myself. So for me, I recently became a Christian, and that was probably 3 months ago, something like that. And today I'm going to kind of tell a story of why that was something that worked for me. So when I was younger, probably like 14, 15, I started to develop like pretty significant drinking and substance, like other substances, drugs and stuff, issues. And I would just be, the reason I did it is probably, I just felt isolated and just like I didn't have like that connection with people, like real connection, real love, real, I don't know, just emptiness. And I just had things in my past that I wanted to forget about, and I just wanted to kind of numb the pain of my past. So I think I just turned to drinking. It was something easy. I was young, so I would just drink crazy. And then during the week, it started with light drug, like just weed, and I used to smoke every day, go to school. I remember one day my friend, uh, it was hilarious because anyways we were all smoking before school, and he said like it was the first day of school, and we were having a talk about should we smoke today or not, because it's the first day, we shouldn't go high to school the first day of school. And I remember he said this, and it was funny because he was like the guy you would consider the dumb guy in the group, but he said, because it's the first day, we have to smoke, and not only smoke, like we have to like go extra extra high. And then we were like, what? And he was like, yeah, because that's how the teachers are going to know us. Like they're going to just think you are the person you come into class today. So if we're like super high today, then like what will it matter, right, for the rest of the year? That's what they expect for us. And all of us just kind of look like, oh damn, that actually makes sense. The reason I tell that story is because it's just to I just want to express where I was in my life, right? I want to kind of, yeah, convey that the way that I looked at life, I guess. So, anyways, that was high school. That continued all through high school. I started to realize at the end of high school, like, if I kept on the current path of my life, that my life wasn't going to be anything happy. And so, what I decided is I decided to go to the military and just kind of break away from my social circle. So, if anybody's been an addict, the hardest thing is your social circle, because your social group is like what supports it, right? If all your friends do drugs, if all your friends drink, and your addiction could be other things, gamble, whatever, sex, porn, whatever. But if your social network, if all of them are into that same addiction and they're all like that's what you talk about all the time, that's what everything's focused on, it's extremely hard to quit anything. Like, so to me, quitting any addiction I've ever had, the hardest part is always disassociating from the social group that addiction is built into. And once again, the reason I told you earlier why I started having those issues, because of that just kind of disconnection, loneliness, emptiness inside me, was because I mean the social groups are really appealing to me, right? Like having friends I can just go smoke or drink with, and feel like I'm connected. That helped heal. It helped me, and then the addiction, the drugs and alcohol itself helped me cover my past trauma stuff, and it just was good times. So, anyways, I decided that was not the right route in my life, and I decided to go to the Army because you get drug tested, you do all that stuff. So I would have to at least cut out drugs. I could still drink pretty heavily, but I'd at least have to not be doing drugs. So, anyways, I go to the Army, and that turned out to be a really great choice for me because since then I've had, like, at this point in my life, those friends that I broke away from when I was in high school and I went to the Army. I've had three very close friends die of drug overdoses since then. So at that point, I was already really lucky that something came out. Like I was lucky that I had that feeling, right? I had that feeling like, if I stay on this path, it's not leading to good things. Because to be quite honest, if I wouldn't have got that feeling, I wouldn't went to the Army. Then I probably I wouldn't be surprised if I wasn't alive right now. So, anyways, then I go to the Army. After the Army, I got out. That's another hard thing. The Army is a very secure life. Anybody who's worked for a government or anything like that, it's very stable. You work, you're going to do 20 years, you're going to retire, you're going to have a steady money for the rest of your life. And the job's fun. Once again, it's I got deployed. I think I was in the Army for 6 years. I spent like 2 years in the United States and 4 years overseas, but I loved it. You get paid more. You your life is just focused. Like you only have option. It takes the options out of your life, which actually is easier in a lot of ways. So, anyways, that was a phase of my life. Then after that, I got out. I went to university. I went to did that, then work. And the reason I'm saying this is my point in all of this is throughout my life I've been traveling, right? Ever since I left my home, Arizona, and I'm actually in this home right now, and because I'm visiting my parents. But ever since I left here, I've always traveled. I mean, I only spend a year or two here, right? A year or two move, year or two move, year or two move. My life's always changing places, changing what I'm doing. Working, student, back to maybe like working again, going to traveling, going just different things. So today or the last week I've been reading. I've been reading the Bible, but anyways, in the last week, something the last few days I've been reading is Numbers, and Numbers is actually a very interesting book in the Bible because it's talking about when Israelites break away from Egypt and they're going to find their own land. And in the story, what happens is God is telling them, I'm going to deliver you to the promised land, a land of milk and honey, as it says. And the journey should only take like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks tops, right? But it ends up taking 40 years. And the reason it ends up taking 40 years is because the people don't have faith in God. The people, they're not doing what they need to do to deserve the land of milk and honey, the promised land. So God's sending them from point A to point B to point C, back to point A, back to point D, right? And they're just hopping around. So this journey that could have just been a couple weeks ends up being 40 years because at one point they do something that God is so displeased with that he says, all of you in the current generation, none of you will ever make it to the promised land. Like your kids, I will still deliver to the promised land, but none of you will be alive when that time comes. And that's why they spent 40 years wandering around. And the reason I told today's story the way that I'm telling it is because I really feel a lot of my life is like that, right? I've been wandering around. I've been looking for that land, that promised land, that land of milk and honey, happiness, love. I've just been looking for all those things, and I've spent a lot of my life wandering around. And I think I find it for a little bit, but in the end, it's just not there, right? It's just not there. So the reason I share this is because for me, that continuous search just slowly just kills your hope if you have nothing to believe in, right? And I think this is what brought me to God, and this is what finally brought God in, because along my journey, actually God's done a lot of things to save me. Like one thing he did to save me out of what I just told you is I truly believe now, looking back on my life, like it was God who was telling me, like, Alex, you must get out of, like, you have to leave this social group you're in. Like, you need to go to the army, you need to get out of here, because if you stay here, you're dead. And I listened to it, right? And my life did improve. If I look at that, my life significantly improved. In the army, I had some other things that happened too, like life changing decisions. Once again, things, God nudged me in the right way, right? And there's a lot of these throughout my life that have happened, but it's when I look back, at the time I had zero faith. I just assumed, okay, cool. I made the right decision. I did the right thing. I. But it's just too much luck, right? It's luck that can't be described as luck anymore. So, anyways, that's just what I wanted to share today. That because I've been thinking about it, and I guess my to end, what I've really been thinking about is, how do I know when I'm having faith? Like, how do I know that I'm on the right road in my life? Because I've looked so many roads. Like, what I just explained to you is one of so many. So many paths that I've attempted, and I feel like I'm just lost in the wilderness. And I was asking myself today, if I was that Israelite and God is doing all these miracles for me to show me that he exists and show me that he cares about me and loves me and he's trying to take me to a land of milk and honey, then what are those things, right? Like, what are the signs? What are the signs, and where am I leading? Where is the milk of honey, right? And I honestly felt and I kind of got to the point where I'm like almost jealous of them, because it's like they had Moses. They had somebody who had that communication with God and was telling them, like, this is what God says, this is where he wants us to go. Whereas with me, I don't have a person. It's just been myself. But I think that's where the Bible has come so strongly to me. The Bible is being my Moses. It's being that thing I open up and I read it, and it resonates, like, oh, this, oh, okay. And I feel like I'm talking with God a lot. I feel like he's guiding me when I read, just like me having this conversation. This video I decided to make just based on what I was reading. So, anyways, I think I'm still lost in the wilderness, but I do think I'm finally getting on the right track. And I think the right track is having faith in God, having faith in something above me that loves me and cares about me and is trying to guide my life. And the reason I think that's the right track is because for the first time, I'm looking at my life and I'm looking for the signs. I'm looking for the direction signs, right? I'm reading the street names. I'm kind of looking at the map, like, is this the right direction? And it's not just me, but I feel like there's somebody who can really see the broad picture and is guiding me. And it's not just me, this little human who's, only has my two hands, my 2 feet, and doing everything by myself. But anyways, that does it for today's video. Yeah, tomorrow we'll be back to games. So for those of you who made it here, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you kind of I'm just doing it to share a little bit of myself. And if you want to know more, I have another channel. It's in the description. And that channel, I talk more about my daily reading the Bible, and then daily, what I'm thinking about, things about my real life that are happening. So anyways, yeah, that does it. Love you all. Catch you tomorrow. Take care.